Shout out EYNY007.
I'm ready.
Welcome to KNY7. This is a live hearing. Hopefully they're going to let us keep the cameras in here. High-profile case with Rodney Hinton Jr. He is accused of killing Deputy Larry Henderson in retaliation of his 18-year-old son being shot and killed by police officer, Cincinnati, Ohio, of Hamilton County. There's already tempers flaring and a lot of commotion going on early during this court hearing. This is all live footage going on right now, real time. I went back slightly because they took a pause because people are getting very upset, understandably, on all sides.
Good morning, Mr. Hinton.
Good morning.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We're here this morning on the issue of, I believe, at the prior hearing, there was a waiver of probable cause, Mr. Bennett.
Judge, I'm going to waive probable cause as a result of being acquainted with the case.
Thank you so much. And is there a plea this morning?
There's a plea of not guilty, Your Honor.
Plea of not guilty?
Yes.
Will you enter a plea of not guilty? And thank you. And as to bond, the state has requested a hearing on the issue of bond or bail. You may be aware of that.
I am aware of that.
Who would like to proceed?
I'm proceeding, Your Honor.
Thank you. And would you please speak loud enough so that everyone can hear you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Louder.
Yes, Your Honor.
Go ahead. Is it okay if he begins?
Judge, he has a burden.
Okay. Thank you. Clear and convincing evidence.
Yes.
Thank you.
Your Honor, we will call our first witness, Officer Beebe. Where would you like Officer Beebe to stand, Your Honor?
If it's okay, he can stand right there. If it's okay with him.
Thank you.
Good morning, officer.
Good morning, Judge.
So I'm going to swear him in.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
Officer Beebe, I need you to state your name and spell your last name for the record.
Carl Beebe, B-E-E-B-E.
And Officer, where are you currently employed?
I'm employed as a police officer at the City of Cincinnati Police Department.
Okay, what is your current assignment?
Currently assigned as a detective in the homicide unit.
Okay, in that capacity, were you called upon to investigate a matter that involves the defendant Rodney Hinton?
I was.
Okay, is Mr. Hinton in the courtroom with us today?
He is.
The identification stipulated.
Thank you.
Thank you. And identification is one of the elements in this process. And Mr. Nelson, would you advise the court of what statute, if any, that you are operating under this morning?
Yes, Your Honor. It's 2937.222. It's hearings on bail and grounds for denying such.
Thank you.
Okay.
Proceed.
How did you become involved in the investigation involving the defendant?
We were notified of a crash that occurred at 200 West Martin Luther King Drive, where a deputy was struck by a vehicle and at the time had serious injuries.
Okay. And is that location in Hamilton County, State of Ohio, City of Cincinnati?
It is.
Okay. And so where did you begin your investigation? At what point?
Myself and several other detectives, officers, and investigators from a traffic unit went to the scene.
Okay. Now, were you able to trace the path of where Mr. Hinton was coming from on that day?
We were.
Okay. And where was he coming from?
He had been coming from 801 Lynn Street,
Okay.
Which is where the Cincinnati Police Department's criminal investigation section is located.
Okay. And is that abbreviated CIS?
It is.
Okay. And are you aware of his reason for being at CIS?
Yes.
Okay. And why was he at CIS?
He was at CIS to meet with CPD officials to review body-worn camera footage related to an incident that had occurred the day prior. His son had been shot by a Cincinnati police officer.
Okay. And so was he there, to, I guess, to meet with the chief of police?
Yes.
Okay. And so on that date, at that time, did he view a video which depicted his son being shot and dying as a result of contact with a Cincinnati police officer?
Yes.
Okay. And then after he viewed that video, and if you know, approximately what time did he view that video?
Shortly after 9:30 that morning.
Okay. And after that, do you know where he went or what he did?
Yes. So he left that the parking lot, I believe, shortly after about 10:30. Based on witness statements, he went to a couple of different locations, and then later returned. I believe about 12:40 he returned to our lot.
Okay. Were you able to speak to the people or some of the people or family members that he was with when he was at CIS?
I was.
Did they describe his emotional state at that time?
Yes. They said that he was upset, was agitated, and they were concerned enough about his emotional state that they did not want him driving, which is why the first time that he was there, when he left, he actually left with family members and not driving the car that he had driven to that location.
Okay. And do you recall it? What sort of car was he driving after he returned to pick up his car from CIS?
It was a black Ford Focus.
Okay. Approximately what time did he return to CIS to pick up his vehicle?
I believe it was approximately about 12:40 p.m.
Okay. Were you able to trace his progress from CIS to the point where he came into contact with Deputy Henderson?
We were.
Okay. And can you describe where he left, where he drove from CIS to the location where Deputy Henderson was struck?
Well, he after he came back to pick up the car, he actually left the parking lot, followed by some family members and another car, and then a few minutes later returned to the parking lot at CIS, drove through the parking lot, and then left the parking lot again. That was at approximately, I believe, around 12:49 that he left the lot the last time.
Okay.
And then from there, proceeded up to the Clifton neighborhood, where he was traveling northbound on Clifton Avenue, and then turned to travel eastbound on West Martin Luther King Drive.
Okay. So that's a right-hand turn from Clifton Avenue proceeding northbound onto MLK. Is that correct?
From northbound on Clifton Avenue to eastbound on Martin Luther King.
Okay. And where was Deputy Henderson working on this day?
He was working from the intersection of Clifton Avenue and Martin Luther King Drive. He was working one intersection to the east, where there's a traffic light there.
Okay.
At 200 West Martin Luther King Drive.
And what was he doing at that traffic light? What were his duties?
He was engaged in traffic control duties. There is a traffic signal box that's mounted on a metal pole at the corner of the intersection. In that box is a cord with a button on the end of the cord. That button can be used to cycle the light. There were graduations at the University of Cincinnati that day, and so there was a large volume of traffic in the area, and so he was controlling traffic and assisting pedestrians crossing the roadway.
And was he in a sheriff's deputy uniform at that time?
He was wearing a sheriff's deputy uniform, wear a hat, and a fluorescent vest, traffic vest.
Okay. And his employment history involves being a deputy with the Hamilton County Sheriff's Department. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And so he was performing duties as a police officer directing traffic on that day. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Let's see. Were you able to retrieve any video from any stationary cameras or mobile cameras?
We were.
Okay. And please describe the cameras that you were able to get footage from.
We had one camera that was a fixed camera. That camera captured them turning from Clifton Avenue onto West Martin Luther King Drive. It was pointed in that direction at the time that incident actually occurred. It was redirected to the scene after the deputy was struck. We also had the opportunity to view camera from a vehicle that was in traffic on West Martin Luther King Drive, approaching the intersection where the deputy was struck, and it did capture the incident.
Okay. And were you also able to speak to people who were in cars that were within 1 car length away from the defendant?
Yes.
Okay. So your information is obtained from a static video camera, actually it's a moving video camera that was moved to the position after the accident, a video camera that was actually in a bus that was actually on MLK that depicts the incident, and testimony from multiple witnesses who were there. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. When you pick up the defendant turning eastbound onto MLK, please describe his path of travel.
So initially he was in one of the lanes on the right side. The traffic was slow moving, stop and go traffic. At some point they, based on witness testimony, they moved into the left straight lane. And then a short time later pulled into the sort of the painted median. It's not a raised median, but a painted median between the two. Eventually that turns into a left turn lane to go into Burnett Woods.
All right. So at that next intersection where Officer Henderson is standing and running traffic, you can take a left to go into Burnett Woods and a right to get to UC where the graduation was happening. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And describe the defendant's path of travel after he pulls into the left turn lane, the one that is used to turn into Burnett Woods.
So based on witness statements, he pulled into that sort of that center lane, the median turns into the turn lane. Pulled into there and stopped. There were no other cars in front of him at that point, no obstructions.
Let me ask you a question. When he stopped, was he at the intersection or did he stop short of the intersection?
No, he was well short of the intersection at that point.
Okay. And was traffic moving eastbound while he was sitting there?
No, traffic was stopped.
Okay. But was there room ahead of him for him to pull up to the intersection should he have wanted to turn left?
Correct. There were no vehicles in front of him.
Okay. At that intersection, are there plastic, I guess, for lack of a better word, sticks that are actually in the ground and the pavement to ensure that people travel in the proper lane of travel?
There are further up closer to the intersection, yes.
But he was not up to that point at that time. Would that be correct?
Correct. Not at the point that he stopped.
Okay. Tell me what he did after he stopped.
So based on witness statements as well as the video, the vehicle accelerated quickly, proceeded eastbound, crossed into the oncoming lanes of traffic when there was no longer traffic to obstruct his travel. Crossed into the oncoming lanes of traffic, went to the left of those little stanchions that are in the middle of the roadway, into the oncoming lanes, through the intersection, directly at where Deputy Henderson was standing, struck Deputy Henderson and the metal utility pole on the northeast corner of the intersection.
Okay. Were there any evidence of skid marks?
No, there were no indications at any point that he tried to brake, stop, or otherwise avoid Deputy Henderson.
And is that the conclusion our accident reconstructions have come to at this point?
At this time, yes.
Okay. And does it appear from your review of the video that he headed straight for Deputy Henderson?
Yes.
And did any of the multiple witnesses that you spoke to and the people that were in the vehicles that were surrounding him, the people that were on scene, did anyone indicate that any attempt to slow down or deviate his path straight to Deputy Henderson?
No, everybody said that he accelerated and was traveling at a high rate of speed all the way up until the time that he struck Deputy Henderson.
Okay. And when he struck Deputy Henderson, was the deputy injured?
Yes.
Okay. And what happened after he struck Deputy Henderson?
Deputy Henderson was launched several feet through the air. He came to rest in a turn lane several feet from where the collision occurred.
Okay. And what happened in the immediate aftermath after he struck Deputy Henderson? Where was the defendant? Who was on scene? What happened?
The defendant was located inside the Ford Focus. There were some other officers that arrived almost immediately, as well as several citizens that began providing aid to Deputy Henderson.
Okay. Was there anyone who was in the car with the defendant?
No, he was the sole occupant of the Ford Focus.
Okay, so is there any doubt that he was the driver and operator of that vehicle at that time?
No, none at all.
Okay. And what happened to Deputy Henderson?
Deputy Henderson was transported to the University of Cincinnati Medical Center where they attempted life-saving measures. However, he succumbed to his injuries and was pronounced deceased a couple hours later.
And in addition to the people that you spoke to that were on the scene and the vehicles that were surrounded, did homicide speak to other witnesses as well?
Yes.
Okay. And from your investigation and from speaking to those witnesses, what is your conclusion as to what happened on that day?
We believe, based on our investigation, the witnesses that we spoke to up to this point, that Hinton left our office and was traveling and came upon Deputy Hinton and made an intentional decision to drive directly at Deputy Hinton and strike him and kill him.
Okay. And based upon that investigation, did you decide to charge the defendant with aggravated murder?
We did, yes.
Okay. I don't have any further questions, Judge.
Mr. Bennett, you may cross-examine the witness if you like.
Judge, first of all, I would like to offer on behalf of the Hinton family and myself prayers to the Hinton family, prayers to the family of Larry Henderson, the fallen deputy, and I thank the court for having a fair assembly in the courtroom today. With that, I'd like to ask you a few questions, not a lot, okay?
Yes, sir.
You said that Mr. Hinton left the police station around 12:30. CIS.
He initially left around 10:30
Came back and then left again.
and then returned a couple hours later, yes.
And you said that individuals that know Mr. Hinton, his family members, were saying that he appeared to be agitated, upset, and so forth, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you don't know the source of that that agitation or that distraughtness, do you? If you know, you might not. I don't think you do, but you have to answer the question.
The source of the agitation?
Yes.
Well, I would assume it was because of I believe it was because of the video and the reason that he was at
Right.
CIS.
Do you know the mental history of Mr. Hinton?
No, I do not know detailed mental history.
Right. Do you know whether or not he's had any medically documented infirmities or conditions? Do you know that? You don't, do you?
No, I do not.
And then you also don't know his state of mind at the time of the incident near Burnham Woods and Martin Luther King Jr. Drive. You don't know that either, do you?
Based on the facts and circumstances surrounding it, I think we.
You think he
and the
intentionally did it?
evidence- And the evidence, yes.
Yeah. Are you familiar with acts of someone that is not in their right mind when they commit a criminal act? If you know.
Can you clarify that?
Are you familiar with the characteristics of
I'll
acts that
object
are,
to that one.
you object to that? Okay. You don't know whether or not he was in his right mind at the time that he encountered Deputy Henderson on Martin Luther King Drive in Burnham Woods. You don't know that, do
I would
you?
object again, Your Honor.
Well, this-
Asked and answered a couple times.
It's a different question.
It was a slightly different question, but I will sustain the objection.
Judge, one of the factors with respect to the Ohio Revised Code and detaining a person with no bond is his mental condition. That has to be explored. His mental condition. What was his mental condition at the time that he committed this offense? It's stated in the statute. It's 2937.22. I believe it's C3, the character, physical, and mental condition of the defendant or the accused. That's at issue.
I believe that the witness indicated that his opinion was that the act was intentional.
Right. And in making that opinion about whether or not it's intentional, you need to know the mindset or the mens rea of the person that you're claiming intended to do this. Was he in his right mind? That's relevant with respect to your bond
I'll
determination.
sustain the objection.
From the state, Your Honor, also, just for clarification, it's not the time of the event, it's the time of the history of the accused. So the actual intent at the time of this offense has no bearing upon this court's decision.
I'm not saying that my client didn't try to intend to do this. That's not my position. One more question. You don't know his mindset at the time he shot you, do you? Yes or no?
Like I stated previously, with the facts and circumstances surrounding it, and him driving up until that point, and all the circumstances that surround him leaving our office, and from talking to witnesses, he was emotionally distraught, and they were concerned about him driving, and they were concerned about his safety.
No further questions, Judge.
Mr. Bennett, thank you for your questioning. Does the state have any further witnesses?
No further witnesses, no further questions, Your Honor.
Please.
None, no, Your Honor.
Mr. Bennett, under the statute, the defendant has a right to speak if he wishes at this hearing.
We're not going to exercise that right, Judge. I'm going to speak on behalf of Mr. Hinton.
Thank you, but you do recognize that under the statute that the court must allow the defendant to make a statement at this hearing if he wishes.
That is my understanding, and that's a right I don't wish to exercise on behalf of my client. I don't want him to speak.
Is that right, Mr. Hinton? All right, thank you so much. State have any further witnesses?
No further witnesses, Your Honor.
All right, shall we move to argument?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so the position of the state is that, what's the state's position as to bond?
Judge, as to bond, in closing, what I would say is that pursuant to 2937-222, we have shown proof that it is evident that the defendant committed the crime. We have an investigation that includes information from multiple witnesses who are within 1 car length away or less from the defendant, and 2 videos depicting his path of travel, one of which shows the collision. This evidence and testimony suggests that people were worried about him when he left the police department, having just viewed a video of the death of his son. And he was observed by witnesses and video cameras as he operated his vehicle and drove towards where the police officer was. The evidence suggests that he proceeded eastbound on MLK until Deputy Henderson came into his view. The evidence then shows that he deviated from his eastbound course, pulled into the leftmost turn lane, and waited. And before he put his foot on the floor of the car and accelerated in a rapid manner and deliberately ran into the first police officer that he saw with a car that weighed over a ton, causing the death of the officer. We believe that his pause, his consideration, and his deviating outside the yellow lines while driving in the opposite lane of travel demonstrates prior calculation, design, and premeditation in causing the death of Deputy Henderson, who was a law enforcement officer engaged in the course of his duties. Because of the extremely random nature of this attack, it renders an unpredictability to the defendant that cannot be accounted for with a bond when he was released, because we have no way of preventing him from removing an EMU device no matter what kind of bond you give him, and gaining access to another vehicle and doing this again. Defendant in his current state is a giant mental health question mark and is a clear and present danger and poses a substantial risk of physical harm to law enforcement officers and to the public, as evidenced by his conduct on the 2nd of May. There are no other alternative means or conditions of release that will adequately protect the public. The weight of the evidence, the nature and circumstances of the offense charged as being an offense of violence, the defendant's mental condition, and the nature and seriousness of his danger to police officers and others in the community strongly suggest that denying bond is both in the interest of the community and in the interest of the defendant. Additionally, Section 2937-222 provides a mechanism in which the Court of Common Pleas can review and modify your order should new evidence come to light if there is a change in circumstances, as that can affect bond. But at this point, Your Honor, we believe that we've run our burden pursuant to 2937-222 and ask that you deny the defendant bail.
What do you have from the state with respect to the a personal history or criminal background of the defendant this morning.
Your Honor, the
And
defendant,
this is required as a review
Yes.
under this statute, Mr. Bennett.
Yes, it is.
Thank you.
so, Your Honor, in 2017, there was a domestic violence charge where the defendant pled guilty to disorderly conduct. In 2019, there was an assault conviction out of Hamilton County. And then I believe there was an assault conviction out of Middletown from 2023 and an aggravated menacing conviction out of Middletown from that same court. So that's his prior history.
Thank you. And what about any known community contacts that you're aware of?
I'm not sure what you mean by that, Your Honor.
His family background, do you know anything about that?
I don't know anything about that, Your
All
Honor.
right, thank you. Let me turn, have you finished your argument?
Yes, Your Honor.
Let me turn to Mr. Bennett. Mr. Bennett, anything as to bond or bail under the Constitution?
Judge, I'm going to address the factors that are set forth in the statute for no bond and also Criminal Rule 46. Before I do that, in summary, what I would like to do, I want to make certain that this young man is treated as a mentally ill person and not as a cop killer. I don't think he was a cop killer. I think he was not in his right mind. And I think he should be treated like any other mentally ill person that commits a crime under the auspices, control, and authority of a mental defect in a condition. That's what we have in this case.
Do you plan to file a request for a competency evaluation after this hearing?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
This court is not empowered to do that today.
That's why I was going to ask for it
If
after
the
the
matter
proceedings.
is referred to the grand jury for consideration and further indictment, you may have the opportunity to make the request at that time.
Right. I wasn't making a request at this time. I was advising the court in general what I think the bond should take into consideration with respect to Mr. Hinton.
And I was simply educating the public on the process and letting the public understand what this process is and when certain things can and cannot occur.
Right.
So the court would not hear a competency
Correct.
referral today.
That's my understanding.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Mr. Hinton's 39 years old. He has an aura score, which is a report and an opinion by professionals that are independent and objective. They gave him a 1. That's an indication that you're not a recidivist, and that's an indication that you're going to attend these judicial proceedings in the future, and that you're going to behave in a manner that's consistent with the safety, health, and welfare of the public. He received a 1. Secondly, he's residentially stable. His family lives here, his extended family.
He lives in Middletown, as I understand it.
No, he lives in Hamilton County.
All right. Okay. All right. I thought
He
it
has
said-
lived in Middletown in the past, but he lives in Hamilton County now.
For how long? Can you share that?
Several years.
All right. Go ahead.
Strong family ties. His family retained me. He lives with his significant other and his children. He does have limited contacts with crimes of violence. I think there was several low-level misdemeanors. Other than that, he doesn't have a felonious criminal record and doesn't have a significant history of failure to appear. I think there's one failure to appear. I conducted my investigation, and I couldn't find out where that one failure to appear came from. But what I agree with the state is that there is a giant mental health issue, and I would ask that whatever bond, whether it's a no bond or a monetary bond, I would ask that it be coupled with or inclusive of a requirement that he have mental health treatment. You can't do a competency report, but you can, as a condition of bond, make certain that he's treated mentally. He's receiving no treatment in Claremont County, mentally or physically. I've got a problem with that. And I would ask the court to take that into consideration with respect to the judgment here or decision on bond. That's all I have at this point.
Thank you. The state have anything final to say?
Judge, the only thing I would say is that I don't really have an objection to him getting mental health treatment in jail. That's fine. I mean, mental health treatment is good. But as far as what we need to show is, number one, the proof is evident or the presumption is great that he committed the offense with which he is charged. We know that because we have video and witnesses who saw it. Number two, he poses a substantial risk of serious physical harm to persons or the public. And he...
Why don't you repeat that first paragraph again? So you just read.
The proof is evident, or the presumption is great that the accused committed the offense to which he is charged.
Hold it. I will make a finding under revised code section 3927.222, by clear and convincing evidence that the crime was committed as you described, based on the information presented this morning. Next.
Next would be that he poses a substantial risk of serious physical harm to any person or to the community.
Mr. Bennett, do you want to address that?
I think in light of his mindset at the time that this happened, I was physically present with the defendant over the weekend. I think he has mental issues. I think it's a long way of answering your question. I think the conduct in question is classic mental illness, criminal conduct. It's always intentional, it's bold, and it's conspicuous.
I don't know that...
That's a hallmark sign that somebody is not in their right frame of mind, no attempt to deceive, no intent to hide what they did, because they think that what they're doing is right, and they think that what they're doing is right because they're not in their right frame of mind. They don't understand the long-term set of conduct. So yes, I'm agreeing with Mr.
I cannot recall, either in experience or outside experience, a case that I've ever seen like this. And based upon the state's comments, I find it very difficult to figure out how there could be any decision based on what they said that would protect the public and the defendant under these circumstances. This is a most unusual case.
I don't disagree with you, Judge, with respect to the no bond.
Thank you so much. I believe that Mr. Bennett said that he agreed with the court with the issue relating to no bond, and I would add the mental health treatment. I've talked to the officers before. They have assured me, and I'll ask the state to make the assurance that if he's continued to be held at Claremont County, they'll be kept in a safe way, and that he will be watched over
Yes, Your
in
Honor.
a way that would not relate to any self-harm based upon what everybody has said today.
Judge, I don't want to. I don't want the court to misconstrue, or the public for that matter, my comments about his stay in Claremont County. Claremont County is doing a great job. I met with him this weekend. He was in a flak jacket. They're making certain that he doesn't harm himself or anyone else. I just want to make sure, add that component of mental treatment.
You understand that as an impartial jurist deciding these issues between the defendant and his rights and the state and its presentation, that the court's required to make these inquiries.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Based upon the officer of testimony of Officer Beebe,
Yes, Judge.
and all the facts and circumstances surrounding his testimony this morning, the comments of the state, that there will be an order of remand with no bond. Please assure the safety of the defendant and any mental health treatment that can be granted. No bond, and we'll give, if the officers want to stay, and the public, you're welcome to stay through the other hearings. Otherwise, if you were concerned about this issue, you may leave, and then we'll take just a 5-minute break.
Your Honor, his grand jury report date is May 12th.
All right, let me finish this order.
Okay.
5/12 grand jury report.
Okay, thanks.
Yes, sir.
I didn't do it verbatim. I just changed all the clause.
Excuse me. I'm sorry to bother you. I'm not the assistant fire. I just want to make sure we got your name.
Oh, it's Ryan Nelson.
Ryan Nelson.
Yes.
So normally I assume.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
And you're with the prosecutor's office?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Hi, good to see you. Thank you.
I asked her if we could do it on the other side of those things on there, just because I feel like there's going to be a lot of people walking by, and no,
First
it'll
time
be
y'all seeing this
everybody at
footage
once.
that's going on. It's live. It's Rodney Hinton Jr. Retaliation of his teen son being gunned down by the police. He killed Deputy Larry Henderson.
Okay. No,
New
we're
shot
going to
do is
move.
get these likes
We're
up,
going to
consider
put it down there a
subscribing
little bit
and
further.
participate, because that's what this channel is about, and conversating and things like that. So hopefully you do that. If not, good luck finding this footage somewhere else. Good luck with that. All right. That's the least y'all could do. I'll go through the chat. Shout out to the people that did subscribe. It's appreciated.
Have her come here. I think it'd be easier to have her come here than us all try and cram down the hallway.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a cluster of us trying to do that.
And it's actually keeping respectful.
Christian asked her to do it down there, but I think
Some
it's
people don't have any sense. I'm gonna get rid of you now. So
it's going to be a
that's fine
cluster
with
for all of
me.
us trying to cram down that hallway with all of our cameras in here. We're set up right here.
I think we're still minutes away.
Yeah, a lot of this
I don't
does
think
have
that's
to
gonna
do with
happen.
race. It has
I
to
know,
do
but I
with
still think
crime.
all of us trying to get
It
all
has to
these
do with
cameras down there
accountability.
and try and fall over each
The
other.
whole thing, we all have to be accountable on both sides.
We're all set up here.
Got to be
It's easier to bring her
accountable.
here.
I gotta figure out how to delete somebody who's in here talking stupid, of course. Just use your brain cells, y'all. You don't know you're gonna be in a situation similar to his son. No one is really safe or protected. You can be religious, that can be your protection. You just have to have that mind muscle. Things is changing. This is just the beginning right here. It's gonna be more deaths. It has to be, because we have to balance out cover-ups, murder, things like that. They're going to really investigate Ryan Hinton and why he was shot from the back. Immediately after watching the footage, his father saw it. He went right outside and ran right into Deputy Larry Henderson. So that's why he's in court today. So you see family and friends. I'm going to try to go back to the very beginning, because before the case even started, if I can get my hat on right, before the case even started, there was a lot of corruption in the courtroom. I didn't get to see it. I just could hear it because I was desperately trying to hurry up and go live so that we could all witness this first hearing that just occurred.
Nice to meet you. You're very welcome. You don't have a wire.
Officers ganging up on him. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of intimidation in the courtroom, because you see there's so many cops that were there. It's a huge form of intimidation, but it's also a symbolism of solidarity. They're here for their fellow officer. They want to represent unity of the blue against anyone that comes against them. So, it's tough. It's a tough situation either way. They literally meet the federal definition of gang. Yeah. Especially in LA, Los Angeles, they actually have gang members as their police officers. So it's like, connect with the community, but don't be a thugged out gangster behind a back. That's absolutely wrong. And in our inner city communities, we do need to take more accountability of our youth. We can't have our teens robbing and stealing and stuff like that, and think that there isn't going to be something to come back to us. So to me, both of these cases, the son and the deceased son, who's only 18, and the father, there's layers to this. There's layers to this. So I'm looking at some things y'all are saying. And I'm hoping you at least hit the like button. It's free. Consider subscribing because I do have other information that I put a lot of time and work
I
into.
can, no one said anything about me going live, so I don't have any,
I don't
anything to
just
do
jump
that
on a
with. I'm
case
sorry.
because I want the numbers. I want you guys to engage and that we can help solve some problems possibly together. All right.
Okay,
So
you
that's
should be
how I
talking
look
here
at it.
shortly, so you want to move down there? Okay, thank you. You're going to have to grab that microphone.
Yeah. His son was wrong for placing his father in the situation. He didn't place his father in any situation. He placed himself in it as a teen. But I get what you mean, because now this has occurred. As a father, I wouldn't ruin my life. Well, yeah, something to think about. But you got to think about it as a father. Have you seen your child be killed in front of you? You don't know what state of mind your brain goes in. You know, I think we underrate our thought process sometimes because our brain and emotions can work off impulse. You have to be in a situation or you don't know how you would react. You know what I mean? So we get testy on YouTube. We be ready to fight. People be ready to fight. People be pulling stuff up like, yeah, I'll meet you over the littlest thing. So imagine watching a video of your child being wrongfully killed. I wish it didn't happen this way because now the family lost two, not one teen, but two human beings that are in their family. So this goes deep. This goes deep. Thank you. At least I got some more likes. Y'all gave me like 28 likes, but it was over 500 of y'all in here. And I know you're flyaways, you just swipe. But when you see somebody has something that nobody else has, you could at least hit like. You could at least, drop a comment, do something. Because it still kind of shows me that there's still a lack of humanity online as well. Everyone wants to take, but y'all don't want to give nothing up. A perfect example of why our communities are the way they are now. I'm Kayan Y7, by the way. I talk about spirituality, things to do with the energy inside of us, things to do with community, mostly of melanated people. I talk about sexuality too, because it's underrated, how intimacy affects our lives. The other thing is I talk about astronomy and some astrology, and I call that astros. So that's what I do here on my channel too. But yeah, so open platform, open chat room, however you want to say it. If anyone's interested, I could drop the link if you have like closing statement or you may have something you want to what am I trying to say? Discuss. I guess. Oh my gosh. The shout out to the people that did subscribe. I was able to see y'all through my app setup and stuff that I got going on here. Much appreciated. Where is the... Let me go off screen for a minute. So I'm checking some things out here. I don't know how to...
We're just waiting for the sheriff to step in front of the camera, period. We were told it'd be any minute.
Well, I figured it out. There's a link in the chat. So before we go, America is dying. Let it rain. Thank you. Who's that? Michelle, Miss Pearson. Thank you. It wasn't easy because sometimes things they don't allow. At first, I had called the courts and I was like, "Are cameras allowed?" He was like, "Only if you're a journalist." I said, "No." He said, "But nobody can bring them in unless." I was like, "I'm not asking that. I'm asking, will it be?" Like Did he just answer the question?
Everyone ready?
Where's your cup?
Okay, so now they're going to be giving some closing remarks. This is all live, Cincinnati, Ohio, for those that don't know by now.
Wait, everybody mic'd up?
Hamilton
Let me know who's
County.
not. Speak now? Okay. Okay, Sheriff, you're good.
First of all, I'd like to thank the community for their outpouring of support. I know this is a difficult time for everyone who lives in this community. I understand that tragedy has taken place, and certainly we're mindful and aware of that. What I want to talk about right now is our fallen deputy, Larry Henderson. He was a 33-year career deputy for our department. He retired approximately 5 months ago, and he continued to serve under oath, and he was directing traffic that day at what would have been a very, very joyous occasion for the University of Cincinnati graduates. Unfortunately, you know what unfolded, and we have lost Larry. Larry has been a deputy who has been so extraordinary. We've retired his badge number 129 will be retired. Larry touched so many lives in this organization because he was a trainer, because he worked in so many specialized units. And Larry was very animate about the fact that he stay on the front line. He did not wish to take exams to be promoted because Larry's service was on that front line. And I have to tell you, that is bravery extraordinaire. When deputies decide that they want to be out there facing every day to day, that's a sacrifice, and it's a sacrifice for his family, and they have made the ultimate sacrifice. We're going to celebrate Larry, and we're going to mourn Larry, and we're going to do that this week, and Larry is going to have a tremendous full honors send-off. Thank you.
Quick question for you. Is there anything that can be adjusted or changed when it comes to officer safety? Obviously, this man apparently had it out to do this, but is there anything that the sheriff's office can do to maybe put some safety changes in place that maybe could offer a little more protection?
We have done everything humanly possible to protect law enforcement.
That was a dumb
is
question,
training,
y'all. That doesn't make sense.
de-escalation training, improved vehicles, improved equipment. What I can tell you is this: each and every officer that holds their hand up to take the oath understands the danger, understands the risk of this, wearing this uniform. And each of those men and women show their courageousness each and every day. Larry Henderson was one of those officers, one of those deputies, and again, he was extraordinary. And while we are concerned with safety, when other people stay in their houses because it's too dangerous to go outside, we're outside. We're standing, and we will continue to stand. We will continue to create legacies in law enforcement. The men and women behind me are creating a legacy. All of the men and women that you saw here today, they're here because they are honoring Larry's service, and Larry had a long history of service. He was also a Marine. I want that noted. All the veterans out there, we are honoring Larry's service as a Marine. He was certainly an all-around extraordinary man who gave his life to public service.
How's his family doing?
His family is doing as well as can be expected. It was an incredible shock, you can imagine, to get that call and have to show up one by one by one to find out the shape that Larry was in, to find out the tragedy that had occurred. And it was incredibly heart-wrenching for all of our deputies who remained at the hospital, who remained for hours and hours and hours waiting and making sure that we met the family's needs.
We saw a lot of emotions in the courtroom today, and even a lot of chaos kind of disrupt. As this goes forward, how do you protect everyone in the courtroom as well?
Certainly as law enforcement, we understand that emotions can run high in a community. We understand that it is our job to keep the peace. It's our job to stand steady, and it's our job to respect the community and understand that while we are mourning and we are hurt, and Larry's legacy will live with us forever, we also have to understand that we are trained. We are trained to respect human rights. We are trained to respect everyone who we serve in this community.
Y'all trying to
Sheriff,
kill.
would you mind
One more question,
sharing
final
a story
question.
about Larry Henderson? Anything that you can remember?
Or anything your deputies have shared with you as you
Sure. So, Larry, deputy shared with me a conversation that he had with Larry just recently. He was working a detail with him, and the deputy shared with him that, he was taking some medication for having diabetes. And this deputy was not as tall in stature as Larry. And Larry looked at him and said, well, that's why you're so short. So they laughed. It was a very light moment. And that was Larry's sense of humor. And that's one of the reasons Larry was so well loved. He had a incredible gift, and that is a gift, to relate to every deputy, everyone that he touched. And that's why you will see the outpouring that you do of deputies and the public. And again, I want to thank everyone for all of the outpouring. The family thanks you. It's an incredible grief that they're experiencing now, and we are supporting them.
That's
One
all
last
for
question.
now, everybody.
Can we
That's
ask
all.
one last one?
Christian?
If you all are watching video like the police were with the family in this situation, will counselors be made available for family members in future situations?
We have a robust wellness program that we brought on when I took the oath of sheriff. We had a peer support call last night to deputies who needed peer support. We gave the location. 100 deputies showed up for that peer support. We had counselors available and therapists, and we will continue to support the family in that way.
Thanks, everyone. If you can get your mic from Sheriff, please. Thank you all so much. We appreciate it.
All right, y'all. So you heard from some of the one of the members of the Hamilton County Police Department. Kind Y7, please consider subscribing, hit like, and comment. If you chat during the live stream, or if you come back and catch the live replay, leave a comment. Really helps the channel. Anyone interested in further donation from my channel, I'll do everything on my own. So I purchase monthly apps, I have subscriptions and all those things. So I really try to show that I put a lot into my channel. And if you'd like to support at all, I have Cash App, and I also have a PayPal, and I'll just put that information in the chat as well. So if you're interested, but you can also simply hit the like button. That's free. Consider subscribing and participate. That's really what's good for the channel's participation, and just open-mindedness and a place where you can share your ideas and your thoughts without too much other outside stuff, or people blocking you because they don't want to hear what you have to say and stuff like that. As long as you try to keep it respectful, I don't have an issue with it, but I do have my strong views, being a person of color myself and things like that too. So I do share that, but I try as much to take emotion out and just go off the facts, the things that we know and things that will, make a difference for us. So. All right. All right, what I may do is pull it up a little bit later. Like I was trying to say in the beginning, there was a lot of commotion before before it started. Some people had to be escorted out, I believe, because there's tension everywhere, everywhere, whether you're down with the police or down with the community. But at some point we all have to kind of feel down with each other. If not, we're just going to be more divided. That's what I'm seeing, a lot of division. So I'm reading your comments too. I'm taking a look in there. All right, while I'm here, the link is there if you did want to jump up and join the panel, if you have anything to say. Okay, somebody all the way from Georgia. That's what's up. I'm Kyan Y, New York native. Upset over the people and their soul for the dad and son. Yeah, because you know what? Even though I know people see that father and you see him with his chin up like, yeah, looking like, yeah, I did it and stuff. He's hurting. He's hurting. He's going to buckle at his knees if he didn't already. So he needs prayer and healing, because what it is right now we're fighting anger with anger. The police are frustrated. The people are frustrated as well. I showed Sunday, the chief of police. She almost condones the action. She basically said, hey, this is what happens when you steal cars and you have guns. She's condoning the actions of the officer that killed the teen, which was wrong. And we need more people in these positions that are looking for solutions that are not, well, just kill them, just shoot them. We can't go on like that. We're going to keep losing human lives. We also must have more accountability in the Black community. I'm someone that, I have to be honest, I sometimes coddle my people too much when they have to be accountable for certain actions. They just have to. I make the connections between our behaviors with what Black people go through on a regular basis. So we walk around with the world on our shoulders sometimes. And then sometimes it comes off that we have a bad attitude. And the women, we're kind of a little tougher than a woman should have to be. And then we're called too masculine and all this other stuff. When if you see the battles that we have to fight, you have to have an understanding that it comes from somewhere. The depth of our voices, the pain, and then we still got to get up and go to work. We still have to go out and do our thing when you don't even like us because of our hair texture, our skin color. There's people that want us dead. So that's why there's some people that see a badge on a cop and they're like, oh, so you have a license to kill. That's the only difference between you and other races. You're licensed to do it. Oh, I get it. You don't feel we belong here. News flash. African people were the first people on the planet hundreds of thousands of years ago. So there's as soon as other races started coming into the picture in the world, we had okay times, but we've been very divided. We've been very divided. As far back as I go in history, we've been very divided. And it makes me question, what is this planet about? What are our races about? What is this all about? So this is just the beginning, y'all. I'm telling you, I really do think that there's going to be they're just not just for this case, because this could be it for the violence for this case, but you're going to see more people retaliating against whomever because they've just had enough. And it's causing such a rage that you're fighting violence with violence. This is just the beginning, because there's a lot of cops that have been doing cover-ups lately. I've been looking at the twins, Black young boys that were found at the tippity top of a mountain in Georgia where they don't belong. And you want us to think a certain narrative. Another set of twins drowned recently. There's so many cases I'm working on, and it has to do with police cover-up. As I was just calling it out about a week ago, I said at some point, cops are going to start getting slayed. They're going to be slain. And most of the time it's through gun violence, but there's other ways, because I could see an eruption of quietly killing. You're going to, don't be surprised, you start finding officers, finding them, not in broad daylight where everybody saw you do it, but finding them somewhere. Why? Because people have had enough and they're frustrated, and they feel like if our lives are threatened, you're the threat. You're supposed to protect and serve. You can't be the threat also. So, having said that, those are my thoughts on that. I invite y'all to share y'all's. Respectfully, please don't be a keyboard gangster, because I will drop the link and ask you to come on up. You know what I'm saying? And say that ish now. So, and then plus anyone that wants to debate, we could debate. We have a normal debate too. That's fine too. But you can't say I don't invite you in. It's an open chat room. You guys have been giving some good comments on both sides. But if I'm being honest, most of y'all do seem to see where this father stands. You wouldn't say, hey, yeah, get him. But you're like, damn it, I see why you feel the way you felt. He just watched the video. It's not like, and they're trying to say premeditated. And I've studied law over 20 years ago. So I'm brushing myself back up with some law terms and things like that. It wasn't premeditated. It depends. He was in the pursuit. It was very quick. So premeditated means you took hours and days and plotted on someone. So I don't think they're going to be able to do premeditated with this. It happened way too fast. It was like loose cannon style. You saw something, you ran out and you attacked somebody right after you saw it because your emotions are high. And no, we don't always think straight. And that's with anyone. This isn't a black thing. This right now, this has to do with partially race and law enforcement, but this is a human thing. Human beings can only take so much till we crack. It's just, what would it take for you to crack? We all have it in us to take, well, maybe not everybody, but a lot of us have it in us to take someone out. Regardless of whether we have remorse after or not, it's what will it take for somebody to push you so much that you took the law into your own hands. That's what that father did, because he saw that law enforcement broke the law and ended his son's life. His son was breaking the law. Absolutely. He was in a stolen SUV Kia. They was calling them Kia boys years ago. And if y'all don't know, I'll remind y'all, Kia has made many vehicles, thousands of vehicles, that have been easily accessible for criminals to start it up and take it. You come outside, your Kia gone. You went to go take a dump on the toilet, you come outside, your Kia gone. So they were supposed to fix that issue because so many people were stealing Kias. But apparently, and we don't know if it was an armed robbery. He did have a gun on him, but as far as we know, there's no one that said he strong-armed someone to take the car. Because again, let your Kia sit outside. They can get right in that Kia and your Kia gone. Your Kia is gone. But a car versus a life, which has more value? A car that allowed you to break into it. I don't know what's going on. Is it a Japanese car? What's wrong with them doing that? Where does the value of humanity lie? That's what I asked y'all. Of course, he shouldn't have stole that car. He got caught. He started running. Oh, let me hurry up and get away. It was 4. There was a few other ones. They got the other teams. They all picked, I guess, which team they were going to chase down. Another thing I want to say while I have y'all here, we have police officers that are out of shape. They don't have it in them to chase nobody, so they let the bullets chase you. We have lazy police now. They don't really investigate. They hire snitches. They hire some of y'all to do the work that they're supposed to do. They want you to just come and tell instead of them putting the time in and investigating like the taxpayer dollars are supposed to be doing, telling these cops to do. I can't think of the last time I saw a cop in shape. Well, there's some, but they're out of shape. That's not our problem. You have to stay in shape so that you can chase people down. That's what you're supposed to do. If they run, you can't keep chasing them with bullets. Because guess what? You're a human too. You're a human too. The wrath gonna come right back for you. Just like anything else in life. Do y'all believe in karma? You do realize whatever you put out in the universe, it comes back. Call it what you want. Some people say it's an energy. Call it what you like. What you put out there, you're gonna get back. Someone said they don't feel no remorse. Wow. Well, But all right, I'll read a few more comments, and if you guys still have something to say, I'll look at it. Otherwise, This could be it. They could teach their children to be men, not emotionally stable, not emotionally unstable criminals. Right, absolutely. Yeah, you do have to raise you. To be honest, when I first heard that this teen was gunned down after stealing the Kia and all that, there's a lot of fatherless homes, and you kind of think like, oh, well, maybe he had to be the man in the house. Maybe it was too much on him. And kids, they act out. But he has his dad. I don't know the exact situation, but I know his father, Rodney Hinton Jr. He is a married man, so he's a husband also. I'll show a clip too, because just yesterday the family spoke out, and you got to see Rodney's father. They all look young too. That black don't crack. Black don't crack. So there, the father said he believes in Jesus Christ. He's a religious man. He's not trying to be violent. So someone in the crowd would ask, what about more violence? Because on social media, it says that, he said, we're not even on social media. So the father made it very clear. They are not making any threats. This happened, but it was like a chain reaction. There's a difference between somebody that hates cops and they're a cop killer, or they waiting for a cop to slip, that's different. There's some people that just lose humanity and they want to just target certain people. But usually when there are people against police, that's because they're against police abusing their authority. That's the reason we have gangs. If you look it up, the first gang in America was a Polish gang. Gangs were created to oppose abuse of authority figures. It's been this way for over a century. This is not new. You just see more black faces on these gangs. That's the only difference. They didn't create gangs. Others created gangs. And I get it too. Some of y'all don't like the truth, so you try to run. It doesn't matter where you run and hide. The truth is always going to prevail. The truth always prevails. So, y'all going to have to get over it. So if you're interested in the truth, hopefully you'll consider subscribing. I rely on the truth, no matter how it tastes. And y'all going to have to start doing that too. Why? Because living in a delusional misreality isn't going to help. It's not going to help. Which camera looks better, y'all? I think the top one, because it's not as much glare. The bottom one is like bright. I like the brightness, but it's like, So what I'm going to do, let me see. I'm going to show y'all something now. Hold on a second. Because the family came out and they spoke on, what was going on. The mother was there. And of course, that was difficult for her to speak on it. She, oh man, it's a lot. Let me see. Let's go to the family. Oh, sure.
Consider his death another tragic loss. Family called the media here to speak on the life of Ryan Hinton, but also to raise questions after reviewing body camera footage from his death. Their main question is this: was the officer justified in using deadly force?
If I seen in the video about my grandson, I seen two scared people. I seen the officer scared, and I seen my grandson scared. So it's an unfortunate incident that happened. So that's all I seen. It was like, I didn't see the police there trying to kill. No. What I seen was two persons made a mistake. My grandson made a mistake being there, and the officer, he was trying to get back to his family too.
We're also learning more new information tonight. Hinton's family says he attended Don High School before it shut down. He was not in school at the time of his death. Family and attorneys didn't dispute otherwise that Hinton was sitting in a stolen car or had a gun on him at the time of the incident. His cousin says, however, he should not have been in that stolen car because he was locked out of the house the night before.
I was asleep. Ryan, I'm so sorry. This was never supposed to happen to you. Ever.
I'm not making excuses, but they said he was locked out of the house. But wait a minute, he was locked out of the house, so they went and got a locked vehicle and stole it? I'm confused. Y'all heard him, right? He said he was locked out. So there's someone that, and then that's another thing too with death. You'll start to feel guilty about stuff that you had no control over. Now, I didn't know that. I just heard that part. Because I be researching my butt off. I be all over. I research a lot of different things. Like I don't know. Sometimes I don't even be wanting to sleep. I don't know about y'all, but I like to put that work in. And then come on here and get with the people. So hopefully, y'all not too many keyboard gangsters. I see somebody saying what I said in the chat. I do leave the link if you want to hop on. And whatever your position is on it, bring your voice out. I want to hear it. And there's other people that would like to hear it too. Because if we keep our ears plugged, we're not going to hear the other side. We're not going to hear and at least try to have an understanding of how we view one another in different situations. So I need y'all to stop being scared. They saw that officer was scared. That boy was scared. The officer shouldn't have been scared. You are trained to do things accordingly. And I get it. When you're in hot pursuit, they call it hot pursuit legally. You're coming after the fleeing suspect. But there's too many times we're seeing police just go, oh yeah, well, here you go. That'll slow you down. And then there's some that take their time getting the EMS, if they even call them. Okay? That makes you think of Goldfinger. Why you take so long to call the EMS? You just letting people bleed out these days? And the days prior? So, come on. And everybody's for themselves. There's not enough people really doing things in the community, really doing things. I know y'all come online and y'all see us doing the work, but when are y'all going to start doing some of the work? When are y'all going to do some research and come on my channel and say, hey, Kai, I see this. Oh, did you know about this? Show me something sometimes. I'm always on here showing y'all stuff. But I get it because there's still some of y'all that are oppressors. So you would never support a woman of color. Yeah, right. You treat us like we're invisible. But according to my data, my DNA tells me that we're the most visible because I am the original woman. Why? Because I was the first one here on this planet. Maybe not me personally, but the woman I came from. Remember, people, this planet was all one land, and then it started breaking up into countries and continents. We were all one piece of land, one race of people. Then we had other spinoffs and innovations, Caucasian. Then you got your Pacific Islanders, Hispanic, all these other ethnicities. There's ethnicities, Hispanic, that's not even a race. They don't even have a race. At some point, I want to hear from Puerto Ricans. I want to hear from Mexicans. I want to hear from people that aren't a race. How do you feel about not really being properly identified? I know Cinco de Mayo was yesterday. Everybody want to dance and party. There was a shootout at a steakhouse because of Cinco de Mayo. There's shootings everywhere. You can't go out and just eat. We can't just keep sitting back watching the violence and then coming online talking about it. You're not doing enough. Y'all always leave people like me hanging. That's probably part of why I struggle on this YouTube channel, because people just don't want to, you don't want to unify. And even division, I don't mind being divided. Some things force me to be divided from a lot of y'all. But dang it, I still come on here and try to build with y'all because I want to solve problems. And sometimes there's a voice that says you can't solve them just on your own. You're going to have to listen to other sides. One day I'm going to get this just on red. I have to program it. I like the different colors in my mic. But sometimes when I go all red here, because I could change the colors, I'll be wanting all red. That would be kind of cool. I just got to figure it out. All right. I hear some more comments coming in. Oh, somebody said they had a Kia. I see the word had. You don't have that Kia no more, huh? You don't have that Kia no more? This woman is, who's delusional? Your mother? Nothing delusional about me. Yeah. The Black community is never done. And you got to watch what you say with your tongue because it'll come back to you. Don't think because y'all hide behind y'all avatars and y'all be hiding behind y'all wording, the wrath is coming for some of y'all too. And you can swipe away if you want to. The wrath is still coming for you. The wrath is coming for y'all because a lot of y'all have hate. You got Black people that got hate against Black people joining in with the oppressor. It's coming for you, coons. Oh, yeah. By the way, one of my other names is Coon Coroner. Yeah, I take care of the deceased coons. I help get you out the way. And then I clean up well after. Absolutely. Absolutely. I come with intelligence on all different levels. You cannot F with me, I'm telling you. But if you want to rock with me, it'll be one of the best decisions you ever made. One of the best decisions you ever made. We had people, Donna subscribed yesterday. I got Buck 055 subscribed today. Jermaine, there was other subscribers too that I may not see because you're a private subscriber, I'm not sure, but I appreciate it and salute. Salute to those that want to bring betterness in the world. You're going to get trolls in here. I ignore them, but I usually put them in their place sometimes too. And then I send your furry ass on your way because some of y'all are just miserable. So YouTube is an outlet. Twitch and whatever is an outlet for you to be like, oh, you're miserable. That's why when you're not online, you're still miserable. But if you come up against me too hard, you're going to pay. Everyone has to pay. I'm righteous. You cannot come up against a righteous person and they're opening the door though for you to talk with them. You can't expect no more than that because a lot of people are not going to do it. They show something and they want an echo chamber. They want everybody to agree with them. I don't want everybody to agree. I just know when I show you something, you ought to see it. But I invite you to share your thoughts as well. You don't get that from many channels on here. I don't even rock with other channels hardly because they ain't about nothing but themselves. They ain't about y'all and really reaching out like what the people think, what the people saying. Nah, you're not. You're not. Right. Mr. Rodriguez or my fault. I don't mean to misgender, but sending fervent prayers to both families in both situations. Exactly. The deputies too. Because being a police officer, you sign up to risk your life. It's a life risking job. I always feel they should get paid more. But how do you put a price on a job that you risk in your life? I don't know how to put a price on it. But we have to get better recruits. We have to I would suggest repetitive training because they train one time and maybe here or there, that's it. So then when they're faced with a situation, we keep seeing how the cops a lot of times react. They react very violently. Now there's people saying because we had a lot of domestic violence and that's going on all over, rural areas, inner city, everywhere. I saw a Willie D show yesterday. He said, yo, stop calling the police. They're out to get y'all, even for domestic violence. Try to figure it out yourselves. That's what he said. I get what he's saying, but at the same time, if you need help, you have to get help. Don't hurt each other physically or verbally too much. But then there's family court. If you're married or there's counseling, you have to reach out because our mental health is off the meter. I'm talking to the people right here, right now. At least half of y'all mental health is off the chain right now. And you need some healing. And I understand it. A lot of it is not your fault. But we have to realize, hey, am I mentally okay? Because I need to be okay. For me. Before I go outside and deal with these oppressors everywhere, I have to be okay. Sister Vicky Dillard said something before. She said black people are the most forgiving people. And I was like, why though? I'm not a forgiver. So it is what it is. I mean, I could get past things, but it's something in me that doesn't accept nonsense, especially if it's repetitive. No, I don't forgive you. What are you talking about? Some people be like, oh, Kai over that. That was years ago. I don't care if it was years ago. I don't hold on to the anger where, oh, it bothers me. No, I just not going to let you cross me again. Or once I know your character, I go off of that. And then we're done. I'm good. I just don't. Other people be like, they go to church and they're like, oh, I forgive everyone that trespass. I forgive. It's like, I've always had an issue with that. But I want to live a positive, righteous life. I'm just not big on being crossed. I'm just not. Then people say, oh, it's bad for you if you don't accept forgiveness. I'm like, is it really? Because I'm being me. I'm genuinely not a forgiving person. I'm just not. Maybe y'all are good. Where's my reaction button? I'll clap for y'all that are forgivers. I'm not. Senior might be the one with some sense. Yeah. Okay. Oh, y'all going back and forth in the chat a bit. Okay. All right. All right. We're going to get this clown with the last name Culver on out of here. He keeps saying some nonsense. Yeah. Where he at? Let's get you on out of here. Actually, I'll just do a timeout. What I do is I'll time people out if they give too much hate speech, things like that. I try to give people a chance though. Like you could, I don't like swearing, and thank you for not swearing. A lot of y'all, nobody said the F word, the B word, none of that. So that's appreciated too. I don't ask for much. I'll time you out instead of blocking you. I don't like blocking people. We're all adults, 18 and over only up in here. We're all adults. We should be able to talk to each other and argue, but respectfully. I call it more of a debate. You know, that's all. So yeah, I had to do that. Oh, it's asking me for how long. I'm not gonna be on too long. Take a 10-minute. Yeah, because what people do is you guys got stuff going on in your own lives and stuff, and you couldn't give a damn about nobody else's life. So you come online and then you think that you could take it out on other people. Now that don't work over here. That don't. If y'all need to vent, you can come here and vent. Sometimes you need to. But if you're doing it to hurt everybody and a mass of people, you can go kick rocks with nothing but socks or no socks. Your feet probably stink too. Talking about how bad black people, you probably got some stanky toes, huh? You one of the ones that sit online all the time and don't wash? You ain't got no girl. You ain't got no girl to lay with, so you coming on here all upset? You ain't got no girl. I talk about sexuality too, and how intimacy is important in our lives, and how it can make us feel really good, or it can have those incels coming through mad at everybody. You don't know what I've been through. You don't know none of it, because I don't bring that on here. If I did, I wouldn't even be able to talk to none of y'all, because I have a reason to have resentment against many people. But I don't let that define me or my connections that I know I have made and will be making more with people all around the world. Let's finish this. That's at the top. I'm going to finish this video. Sometimes let me know too if y'all be like, yo, move the thing this way or move the camera over that way. Sometimes I might need help. Let me know.
No, what I seen was two persons made a mistake. My grandson made a mistake being there, and the officer, he was trying to get back to his family too.
We're also learning more new information tonight. Hinton's family says he attended Don High School before it shut down. He was not in school at the time of his death. Family and attorneys didn't dispute otherwise that Hinton was sitting in a stolen car or had a gun on him at the time of the incident. His cousin says, however, he should not have been in that stolen car because he was locked out of the house the night before.
And I was asleep. Ryan, I'm so sorry. This was never supposed to happen to you. Ever. I'm so sorry, Ryan. I'm so sorry, Ryan. Just know he won't supposed to be there.
Like we said, a very, very emotional press conference that wrapped up about an hour ago. The family is asking the public not to rush to judgment. Their attorneys are reviewing every report and angle of the incident they can get their hands on. At that point, attorneys say they will announce what, if any, steps they will take. We also asked about Ryan's father, Rodney Hinton Jr. Family did not want to take many questions regarding him, though we can tell you he faces aggravated murder charges, and he will be back in court tomorrow for a bond hearing. He's currently in custody at the Claremont County Jail. We're live in Corryville. Connor Steffen, WCPO 9 News. Craig, Tanya,
My bad, I was on mute. That was tough to watch. Oh man, there's just a lot of pain. There's a lot of tension, and there's going to still be some bits of confusion going on. When there's death and grief, we tend to blame ourselves too, whether we really had anything to do with it at all or not. I think that's just it could be a possible stage of grief too. Blaming yourself. Okay, he was locked out, but now he died and he feels responsible. He might need to be on suicide watch, that family member right there, to be honest. So like I said in the beginning, there's layers to this. At the very beginning of the hearing today, which was live at 9 a.m., they started a little late. I was in there though, trying to hurry up and get stuff set up. There was a lot of commotion early on, so oh man, there was a lot of shouting and you could just hear stuff moving. It was a lot going on. It was very calm and quiet at first, but as soon as they started to bring out Mr. Hinton and everything, there was a lot of commotion. And again, this is Cincinnati, Ohio, Hamilton County. Ryan Hinton, age 18, was killed while he was running away from a stolen Kia SUV. They believe he had a gun on him. It dropped or he threw it, one or the other. And as he ran, he was shot and killed. That morning, the family was able to view the recording of what happened. And the father, Rodney Hinton Jr., took off after seeing that video footage of his son being killed. And he went and killed a retired deputy named Larry Henderson. So, yeah, there's a lot of prayer and thoughts that need to go out to both families. Both families. So yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah. Is he still in here? Yeah. So the person that had to get timed out, if you are to come back correctly, or I'll just block you because I don't have time for that. I don't play around. And the stuff you're saying you would never say to my face. And I know you a dude, but trust me, the wrath will come for you. So you don't want to do that. Was running away, no intent of harming officer. Right. So once they get back into that case, then we're going to see, did he use excessive deadly force that is not permitted by law enforcement? I showed the law statute of on the commissioner's website of Hamilton County. It said that you can shoot a suspect that is fleeing to catch him. But I still question that because I want to know that if that's for sure a statute, because if so, that protects that officer. But I know in New York State and a lot of other states, you cannot shoot a fleeing suspect, like only if someone's life is in jeopardy or yours, because that's the last straw. Like that's the very last resort would be to shoot and kill somebody. Plus, there's areas of the body you can shoot and you're less likely for it to be fatal. They won't die. You're slowing them down. But nah, this is a lot. This is it's a lot, y'all. I seen maybe one or two videos of an officer that shot a white man, a white officer that shot a white man, and it wasn't really called for. Other than that, I can't even count how many you see against Black people in police. And y'all probably can't count either. You lost count. Those of y'all that really care, you know, because some people, y'all don't give a damn. That's why things still go on the way they do, because you don't care. And not only do you not care, you're not teaching your children to care. Stop judging people off their race. Yeah, that's a criminal. But should he have died because he ran out of the vehicle? And then someone say, okay, that should have never happened. But does that mean you should go and kill another officer? Was it randomly? Did you even know that he had something to do with your son? Or was it just the first officer you saw? I question why well, rest in peace to Deputy Larry Henderson. I'm wondering why he was even working. He's retired. That means you're off the payroll and everything. So why was he even doing a special assignment with traffic for graduation? So I still have my questions too that I know y'all not even thinking about. I do. I try to see from all perspectives on it. That's what I do. Grandfather is not like with the forgiveness crap. Yeah, man. And it's not just this. This is serious. This has to do with death. So that's hard to forgive. But I'm talking like just, I don't know, in general, people do stuff against other people. And then they go, oh, but that was last week, right? We cool? Like, nah, we not cool. Like, I don't play with people that got too much bipolar and all that. A quarter of you guys are bipolar, by the way, statistically says. Out of 100, over 100 people that are in here, it might be 10 to 20 of y'all that are bipolar. And I understand that, but you have to understand too, when you have a mental disorder or illness or something like that, you don't get to just throw that out on everybody else. You don't. We can tolerate it for a while, but you have to have that mind muscle. And that's what I told you about on here too, manifesting so that you can reach higher levels. With or without a spouse, with or without your family, with or without your so-called friends. We do that right on here because I want to reach higher levels. I'm never going to keep stomping that. Nah. And y'all can come with me or y'all can help elevate me sometimes. I don't know everything. So when I come on here, I'll be looking for y'all to fill me in on stuff too. Let's get to use each other. I'm not just here to be used. So let's use each other some more. What else? The grandfather must be well, you know. And thank you. I do need blessings. We all could use blessings. Absolutely. Somebody said bless you. Yeah. There's a reaction, and all these reactions are bad. For more violence. I didn't really see anybody calling for more violence. You guys are just surprised, I guess, that people are standing up more for themselves, even against the police and whoever else comes their way. Black people have always had a sense of defense against oppressors, usually. But some are buck broken, they call it, where they're like, oh, yes, massa, anything you say, massa. Oh, yes, whatever you say. Hey, Kai, just do what you got to do. You got to just suck it up and do what you got to do. No, I don't got to suck nothing. Literally and figuratively, all right? No, I want the truth. And I'm only going to come on here with the truth. That's it. And we got to get this yellow tape out the way and stuff so we can really look at the layers to all of this, because it's going to be more. There's probably already been some violence against cops. We just didn't hear about it yet. People have had enough. We need cops. We need the police. We just need good ones, because there's people that I'm cool with on here too. They can't stand police. But I say this, if you in a situation and you have to call out for authority, you're calling the police. So the same people that say, oh, we don't need cops, we don't need this, we don't need that, some of them be the first ones to call the police. So it's like, what is you talking about? So we're either going to have more accountability in the communities on our own, or yes, you're going to have the authorities involved. Yeah, well, unless you're late, I already discussed that. I said he should have never stole the car. We know about that already. We know about that. But what y'all need to do is take a minute and read or learn to read English. And then you'll see that the law is usually prohibits you from doing that. Should be the last resort, would be to shoot. The last resort. the last resort. You see, some of y'all have to be in a position where a gun is in your face or behind your back for y'all to get it. And best believe you will be in certain situations because things is getting thicker out here. Y'all comfortable with just sitting on your asses and typing and saying little stuff. I dropped the link. Come up and say it. It might be gone now. It's probably up a ways, but come up and say it. Feel free. Other than that, just talk to me nice. Watch how you talk. I will call you out. And it won't be about your avatar. I go to the soul if you have one.
So that's all I seen. It was like I didn't see the police there trying to kill. No, what I seen was two persons.
We're also learning more new information tonight. Hinton's family says he attended Don High School before it shut down. He was not in school at the time of his death. Family and attorneys didn't dispute otherwise that Hinton was sitting in a stolen car or had a gun on him at the time of the incident. His cousin says, however, he should not have been in that stolen car because he was locked out of the house the night before.
And I was asleep. Ryan, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. It's very emotional. And the only people that don't feel some of the emotion, that's some of you soulless oppressors. Some of y'all are Hispanic, some of y'all are Caucasian. You're all different races. Some of y'all are even black. And you're the problem with society, even more than the criminals. You know why? Because you don't even believe in humanity. Teens, especially boys, their brain is still developing until they're around 25. I just spoke with a therapist recently. We were talking about behavior with teens. That's some of y'all. Y'all encourage this. All right. I see wishful thinking. Looks like just subscribe. Thank you. My camera's blocking it. Appreciate it. Let me put some of my donation stuff up there at the bottom of the ticker tape for anyone interested. Because I do give my take. I do put a lot into my channel. So sometimes I'll be like, I don't want to ask for stuff. I'll never beg. I don't like that either. But sometimes people ask. And to be honest, the donations I received, people had to ask me, how can I donate? And that was live streamed and everything. So I don't have to make nothing up. So there's the information. This helps with the channel too. All right, I see Cynthia. I can't see the whole thing. Oh my gosh, let me move so I can see. Now it went away. Shout out to those that subscribe and hit like. I don't ask for you to like every time you come on the stream, but for me to be getting thousands of views and stuff, and y'all barely show me any love. I barely get 10 likes on anything. I don't even be on camera. I show other stuff, but sometimes pop up. So it just shows me too that a lot of people aren't just not ready for the truth, and they don't accept other people much. But it also reflects on the biasness of the platform that I'm on, because they can push nonsense. They can push entertainment. Oh, look who over there digging in their ass and farting on people. You can push that, right? But you don't push and promote the righteous ones. But everyone will be dealt with. Best believe it. Everyone will be dealt with accordingly. Accordingly. And I appreciate y'all feedback. Some of y'all are, you're not going to see things for what it is, but you see it from your view. I'm checking out your view too. I'm listening. I'm watching. I'm reading. I can read. So, like I said, it's just the beginning. It's just the beginning. And the more I see people come into my channel, leaving comments and things like that, or the chat, I'll say your name, I'll repeat your comment. But other than that, I'm kind of reluctant with that, because some of y'all are just here for kicks. You're here to just say and then just leave. I stand on business on here, and I'm looking for others that stand on business. If not, it's probably not the channel for you unless you want to grow into that. Otherwise, you could go on to other channels. You're not going to get full, though. You're going to get full when you eat with me. You'll always be full when you eat with me. My stomach got the nerve to be growling, because as soon as I got up, I was like doing all kind of stuff. I had a sip of coffee. I was like, shh, I'm like, we're about to start. I gotta show the people. All right. Jenny Korsheva, thank you for subscribing. I had to move my camera out the way, like move off the stream and see it. What I may do is just make some adjustments with the format, the way I have this formatted. Now, hang on though, too, because I still told you I wanted to show something else too. I'm gonna show this too, and I'm not doing this to trigger people. I will do triggering titles sometimes, just to because sometimes people are, oh, what, and it's like come in and have the conversation. That's all I want, and not just a want, it's a need. Excuse me, now I'm burping. You got to go fund me. Excuse me, sorry y'all. I need one of y'all to come burp me. You know how you do babies, but I be burping myself sometimes. Acid reflux sometimes, but then I feel like everybody kind of has acid reflux, right? Everybody got anxiety these days, acid reflux. I'm like, now wait a minute. We ain't about to be competing over health concerns. I do not like it. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh, he has a GoFundMe, and you're starting to see battle of GoFundMes. There was an issue with there's a black teen that stabbed a white teen to death when they were at a track meet. And I'm like, oh, I didn't even get into that. I didn't watch it. I was just like, I need the right details. I don't listen to people just, what are the facts? And some cases aren't meant for me to take on right away because it's just too much nonsense with it. So my spirit is telling me like, nah, leave that over there somewhere and then get the facts. He had a GoFundMe that did very well. Now there's a white woman that called a little black 5-year-old boy the N-word. And now she has a GoFundMe that's been like lit up out of control. So we're seeing adult humans, being beside themselves. And it's been a battle. It's been a battle. But I think the way people are going about it is incredibly wrong. And it just is what it is, bro. It really is what it is. So feel free to join while I'm here. I'll just be on a little bit longer because I do want to show y'all something else that has to do with this case. Hold on a second. I'll see what y'all saying. The judge should be censored for letting all those through. Yeah, you know what? I was looking at that too. How they filled the room with the police. That was pure intimidation. Like I said, it was showing that solidarity, they're unified, but they all was all like this. And that's why you see him looking the way he's looking. You see him up top, right? And some people are gonna be like, oh, he don't care, he don't have no remorse. Look how cocky he is. Look at, like father, like son, man, bye. Man, some of you black people, man, see, I just don't care, man. See, that's why you locked up. See, you was always a thug, huh? No, he's hurting. Now, he may come out there and got his chest puffed up because he's ready for the world. You took his son. He ready to die. He's not like some of y'all cowards. You be hiding somewhere sniping, even try to snipe Trump. Snipers. He was in the vehicle when he hit that officer. That tells me, too, that he was ready to die, too. Most of y'all ain't ready for a fraction of what this war is really about. That father was sacrificing himself. You know it wasn't right what he did, but do you have a damn understanding? You're putting Kias over lives. And to be honest, I don't even like GoFundMe. So I just don't. I just feel like fund yourself. And I'm being honest. Funerals, all that. Fund it yourself. or let the community come together, because you want to know it's not fraudulent. You want to know it's right. And ever since they do GoFundMe's, everybody do GoFundMe. Oh my God, my bunion. I got a bunion. Yeah. I need a GoFundMe, guys. That's like me finally getting like 100,000 subscribers or something. And I want y'all to pay for everything. For what? Pay for it yourself or figure it out. You can have a fundraiser, but like I said, now we got competition, and it's a racially driven competition on GoFundMe's these days. And if it has to do with race, the people that are on this side will help fund you. The other people on that side are just going to be yelling slurs and swears. You guys have to have some kind of feeling behind this, because money talks. I know a lot of things don't move y'all, but money does, right? Isn't that why as soon as Trump started cutting government jobs, federal jobs and stuff, that's when people started saying, hey, I don't like what you're doing, Trump. I was on your side, but wait, you're cutting my job. You're cutting into my finances. You got my attention now, but you didn't have to do that. Let me check my bank account. The only thing that moves some of y'all is money, honey. You got to realize money comes and goes. There's something bigger than that. You can have things without money, because things are going to start to fall into place because you're blessed. Some things are going to come into your lives positively, and you're going to be like, what did I do to deserve this? You're blessed. We have to start thinking positive when we go to bed and when we wake up, or whoever's sleeping on the floor. Before you lay down on that floor, have positive thoughts before you go. And check out YouTube Premium. You don't have commercials. I'm not monetized anyway. They don't like monetizing people like me sometimes. So whatever. But YouTube Premium is a good thing too. I do want to shout them out. I don't go without it. It's all commercial free. And you get music. Music moves me. Music probably moves y'all too, I'm sure. And it's just uninterrupted. Check out some of these manifestation channels that teach you about positive thinking. Sometimes you could just sit quiet, listen to positive talking about you, so that you get that into your psyche, and then we can have better, more respectable conversations too. I always want to leave y'all better than you came. Always. And let me move my ticker tape information. I'm kind of tired of seeing it myself. Yeah, so that's the thing I want to say about the GoFundMe's. Just some things you just don't trust, and then you just be like, all right, what's going on? So, I guess that's what I wanted to say, about that. There was a lawyer that came out and spoke on the family's behalf. I didn't get to show that.
We continue to bring you the latest after a Hamilton County Sheriff's deputy was killed Friday. The man accused of intentionally hitting Deputy Larry Henderson, his name is Rodney Hinton, made his first court appearance over the weekend.
Now, Hinton is the father of 18-year-old Ryan Hinton, who was shot and killed by police during a stolen vehicle investigation on Thursday.
Today, Ryan's family held a press conference alongside their lawyers talking about his death.
Brenda Ordonez breaks down the latest on the investigation.
Yeah, 3 separate investigations into this incident are ongoing. Officers, attorneys looking to see what exactly happened and if the officers' actions were justified. No timeline yet as to when we'll find those answers, but today we did get to speak to the family of Ryan Hinton. That's the suspect who was fatally shot. They're giving us more insight as to how it is that he got to be here that day.
He was supposed to be at home that night. He had no business being on a stolen car, man. He had a bed to come home to. He slept in the car. He couldn't get in the house. He called me like 6, 9 times, and I was asleep. I'm so sorry. This was never supposed to happen to you.
A cousin expressing remorse for missing the phone calls of 18-year-old Ryan Hinton, a former Don High School student who that night slept in a stolen car with 3 others. Police tracked the car to a parking lot in East Price Hill. That's when all 4 suspects ran. In 6 seconds, Ryan's life ended. He was fatally shot in the chest and arm by an officer.
What we saw was disturbing. The family was
upset, as you can imagine.
The Cochran firm has launched its own investigation into the shooting that was captured on a blurry body cam.
The lens in that body camera cost 8 cents. So of course, when you have an officer running as well as someone else, it's probably going to be blurry.
What that leaves us with is we do not have a still photo that is crystal clear that to show anybody with a gun in the hand.
Shut up. She's a tyrant. That's Tyrant Teresa. She's the city deputy chief for about a year. I'll give you another quick bio on her tyrant ass. She's been in the force for a year. She's been with the police department for over 30 years. So I'm sure she's paid her dues. But she's another high calorie queen. There's a lot of law enforcement to be. I'm just going to be straight up with y'all. And I don't, you got to lose some weight. There's a lot of people and Americans walking around here with too much calories on your brain, and it don't help you think straight. I look at your body types because it does make a difference. And I don't care what nobody say, it make a damn difference. Your cops are out of shape. They can't chase nobody, let alone a teen. A teen is out. But y'all want the bullets to catch up with them. Y'all want people to snitch instead of the old school cops, which were still dirty, some of them, but they did the work. Now you gonna tell us that a camera lens costs 8 cents, so how good do you expect it to be? What are you talking about? You have a better budget than that. Don't get me started, because I'll FOIL request the police budget. That's a Freedom of Information Law Act. We have a right to find out all that information. So don't come over here talking about how cheap a lens was when somebody's lives are on the line. And I'm speaking for y'all in the chat too. You could have just happened to be there. You don't want to get shot because he don't want to just chase the teen. We were all teenagers once, and wasn't none of us perfect. Don't give me that. And this Tyrant Teresa, police chief, don't give a crap about the youth. I've played the interview she has right here on YouTube because the news did an interview with her a year ago. It only got 3,000 views. I mean, it got like 200 or 300 views. That's it. But I used it so we can get a feel of who she is and her mindset. She don't know what to do. She talking about, oh, this is what happens. It's like, girl, please, are you serious? Are you serious? I didn't see this footage until just now, y'all. So that's why I'm reacting. I'm reacting live.
We was upset, as you can imagine.
The Cochran firm has launched its own investigation into the shooting that was captured on a blurry body cam.
The lens in that body camera cost 8 cents. So of course, when you have an officer running,
I pity the fool. I feel like Mr. T. Like, I pity the fool that's making up these excuses. Oh, thank you, Sorrow. You just subscribed. You won't regret it. You're making good choices today, people. I'm proud of y'all. Y'all coming through, giving your opinions. In fact, I'm proud of y'all. I can say that. All of y'all.
as well as someone else, it's probably going to be blurry.
What that leaves us with is we do not have a still photo that is crystal clear that to show anybody with a gun in the hand. However, that being said, we do know that he exited the vehicle with a gun in his hand. The officer saw that. We do know that at one point he stumbled, had that same gun still in his hand. It hits the ground. He gets up, still has that same gun in his hand.
Police say Hinton ran through these two dumpsters before confronting an officer on the other side. Police say when Hinton reappeared, he had a gun in a bladed position.
As they're running towards them, because of the angle, you actually have them running to where they're facing at you, but they're in a bladed position to where they're not completely exposed, they're only partially exposed.
Police Chief Teresa Thigi and FOP President Ken Kober say officers don't have to wait for someone to shoot at them for them to perceive a threat.
In this case, you have someone that is running with a firearm, running towards you, and then points it at you. You are absolutely justified in using whatever force is necessary, up to and including deadly force in this situation.
We are answering or looking for the answer through our investigation of whether or not it was proper, whether or not the policies were followed appropriately, and whether or not by law and by facts that tragic death was considered in the eyes of the law as justifiable. I can promise you, under no circumstance are the family members who were here will ever believe that it was justifiable.
This is still under investigation. No timeline yet as to when we're going to be getting those answers. We do know attorneys are still working to get body cam from all of the officers that were there that day. Of course, once we learn anything new, we're going to be bringing you the latest. For now in East Price Hill, with photojournalist Damaris Evans, Brenna Ordonez, Fox 19 Now.
GoFundMe has removed the fundraiser.
Plaintiff Patricia Gaffney says the defendant is her.
Yeah, because I watch a lot of court.
Fox 19 Now.
Not only you got to study things, you want to know what the heck you're talking about. So yeah, like I said to any of the keyboard gangsters, the link is right there. I'm not going to argue with you from the chat room. You need to let your voice be heard, and it will be heard. You just got to click the link. See, I don't deal with colonizing oppressors and all that. They like to type. You know, do you play the keyboard too? Do you play the piano like you do the keyboard, like you do on your little phone? Some of y'all sneaking away from work. Ugh. I'm not for play. I'm not for play. The link is right there. Because y'all be talking real tough in the chat. Hit the link. I pay for live streams and stuff. I'm not one of them cheapos that got the logo of whoever I'm using. I can't do that. I got to come correct. The brand is my brand, Kai NY7. I'm an unleashed beast. Depends on what platform you're looking for. So it's right there. So I'm not gonna do that. Not gonna do that. And even those that agree with me, or if you just want to come up and say something quick, or if you want to talk for a bit before I go, that's fine too. You are all welcome. The link is in the chat. Let me know if you don't see it and you need it. All you got to do is click it and you've joined the live stream, because I'll see you from the back and you join. I've talked with racist people. I've talked with coons. I've talked with good people too. You all make up the population of the world. So we should be able to have a conversation, even if it's a debate. I was taught at a young age racism because it was pushed on me. And I said, oh, I'm an N-word to you? I thought we was cool. I got a wake-up call real early, but I never was asleep, so I shouldn't say wake-up call. But that's how I was taught, and I don't fear anything. Some of y'all live in fear. You're fearing that someone's going to take over. You're fearing things. I see someone in the chat said about checking out a community to see if you want to move there or not. And I understand that too, and you should, so you know where you're living. Also, the best time to check out a neighborhood and see, how it is over there, their culture, would be in the summertime. Whenever the weather is a little more warmer, because then you'll get to see more of the population of that area, at least usually. So yeah, I understand that too. Nothing wrong with that. But yeah, and not for once did I say we don't have to have accountability. We do have to have accountability. First statement the chief made was he was in a bladed running stance. Now they're making more statements. Why does the truth always come to the light, and they'll still lie to change the truth? Good point. See, the people that are coming in the chat making points about the police and how it was wrong from the beginning. See, y'all are people that's been paying attention. Y'all not the ones that just woke up today. Oh, what happened? Oh, yeah, that's wrong. Oh, yeah. There's those of us that's been watching for decades. We've been taking notes. Stop the cover-ups, because we uncovering things. I call coroner's offices and question death reports. You know what they do? They always send me to the police. Oh, you got to talk to the investigative department of the police. I call them. All of a sudden, they can't hear me. There's a bad connection. I have it recorded. I'll show it for y'all another time. I have it all recorded. They're always trying to cover something up and keep the people from the truth. Well, guess what? The time has come. Everyone gets exposed that needs to be exposed. The time has come. Yep. Hit the link. Stop talking in the chat or beat it. You like Michael Jackson? Oh, he black. You probably don't like him either. Oops. Even though he was white in his skin. Oops. Didn't they tell you better get from around here? The bloodstains on the gotta disappear. The fires in their eyes better do what you can. So beat it. Just beat it. And you can moonwalk your way out of my live stream. I don't give a crap. Just beat it. Hit the link or beat it. Ooh. Nope, racism began with white Caucasians. Black people cannot be racist because we didn't create racism. Okay, so that's why we still have racism, because you see the racists in the chat. You see them? They're the ones talking right now. They're the ones talking right now. They're part of the reason we have these incidents. Is people like them. Some say it's in your genetics. I did a live stream. It was called "Why Are White People Racist?" Most of the people that came said they're born like that. And I was like, oh, don't say that. Ugh. But a lot of y'all are taught that because you wouldn't be saying what you're saying. So yeah. All right, we can time you out because you're cursing and you sound stupid. You don't have a job either. What are you talking about? You don't know I work for myself, idiot. Yep. So what's funny is too, you guys will notice this with people that come in, they got so much bad negative stuff to say, but they stick around. Why are you in my live stream? Because you like my energy and you know I'm speaking the truth. Why are you here then? But I'm going to ignore them because now he getting out of pocket. So where was that comment that he left? And another thing too, when you'll notice people that are against certain race of people, they're very ignorant. They're arrogant, but they're ignorant too. They don't tend to finish school properly. They don't read or write very well either. And judging by the way they sent the text, yeah, you can't. So let's put that clown in timeout. At least I give people a chance. At least I give people a chance. So y'all see the link, right? The link is there for anyone to jump in before I go. If not, go on about your business. Some of y'all need to go you should be doing something better with yourselves than coming out here promoting racism. They promote racism. So what they do is they don't have a life at home. They're miserable. And then you got to think about it. Black folks have been oppressed from very early on. And we've had slavery, but we also come from a continent that's the richest continent on the planet. Slavery took place in Asians, white people too. A lot of ethnicities have had slaves. So I don't get too much into, oh, you know what they did. It's been done to different races. But what you'll find is a lot of ignorant people will come into a live stream and think that they can sway everybody with their hatred. Hatred lives in you and your veins. Is going to take you out. One more time for the idiots in the back. Hatred in your soul that runs through, well, your soulless, that runs through your veins is going to be the same thing to take you out. Always remember that. That's why when you see a Black person, you feel kind of different. But stop judging us that we're a threat. We're not a threat. We're just mighty. Just because we're mighty and we come from an awesome passage doesn't mean that you should always feel threatened by us. Doesn't mean that you should silence us and wish that we didn't even have a platform like I have now to speak on. They're the reason that we suffer at times through biasness, because it's people like them that get in positions of power and then they get the system moving towards white supremacy, not equality. They feel they should always reign supreme. And when certain men get around Black men, they feel intimidated. They feel less than. And instead of, oh, I don't want to feel less than, you need to go, Negro. They want you out of their sight. Ask yourselves this: why do Black people overpopulate the planet and always have? guess what? We always will. We always will. No, you was dumb. You was dumb before you came in here. You was dumb before you came in here. But I don't discriminate against dumb ones that you see in the chat, because what they'll do is they'll come back. I encourage them to subscribe as well, but just watch your tone when you talk. They're cowards, so that's why they won't hit the link and have a conversation, because they don't know how. They speak violently. They only know how to speak against women of all ethnicities. So we have a thing where there's gender, there's men versus women, which sucks. There's so much love to be making instead of fighting. It's crazy. So what they do is they think that they can keep oppressing someone like myself. It's not going to happen. It's never going to happen. I say sucker free, y'all. Sucker free. So where's some of the people that got some sense too? Oh, somebody said amen. Yeah, so the other ones that got quiet, I just had to time out one of them because he was calling me the B word and talking really bad about all Black people and stuff. And then this is why we have situations like above. This is exactly why. There's an oppression that is there, and there's a lack of finances economically in communities. So sometimes they do react criminal-like to get things they want and need. You know what I mean? It's not okay, but let's find out why. People don't wake up and say, hey, I feel like stealing the car. Yeah, I feel like, yeah, somebody died, somebody just died. No, it's a continuous thing of things that are going on, and then it goes outward. If Black people were so much into death and taking over other people, and I'm born Black, so I'm born I'm just violent. I'm an 8. Y'all wouldn't even be here right now. We always overpopulate. So if we really wanted you guys gone, you'd be gone. It's not in us to be that way. Thank you for the hearts. Who's that, Kamisha? I appreciate that. Because I get a lot of hatred, and I can't stand it. I don't hate nobody. And to be honest, I don't think humans should even have a level of hate. You should be maybe real angry at a group of people, or you might get disgusted by behavior, but to hate, that means you believe in death no matter what the situation is. So pay attention a little bit to the oppressors that have come in my chat room, because these are the ones, some of them have badges. These are the ones that are teaching our kids at school. These are the ones that go to church and be like, oh, yeah, I serve Christian. Oh, my God. Yeah, Jesus. Yeah. Those are the ones. They're not just at the KKK meetings in Georgia. Somebody said they was from Georgia earlier. A lot of them are amongst us in different areas. Doctors, all of that. They're everywhere. But don't give them too much attention. I never give the devil too much attention, but I will speak upon the demonism of the devil, because I cast them out. I will cast them out of your spirit. When you come back, you'll be a whole different person. Hi, Kai, how you doing? Oh, okay. Yeah, I would like to chime in. I have something to say. Okay, come on and talk. I cast those demons out, but you got to be willing to let it come out. Sometimes it comes out through the mouth. You go, it's got to come out. Y'all too can be more righteous than y'all being. Just because you're white doesn't mean you have to be like that. Stop it. Because you're not happy. Hatred and racism makes you miserable. You're not happy and like, oh my God, I hate Black people, but my life is so blessed and it's so blissful. Oh no, you cannot keep going against the original people. Stop it. Everything down to our hair. Ain't nobody asking you to do their hair anyway. What you worried about it for? I'm not cursed. If I want you to grease my scalp, I'll ask you to grease my scalp. Because sometimes it need grease. I grease my scalp. They act like we really asking something of them. We're not. We just want respect. That's it. That's it. We ain't asking y'all for love. A lot of y'all don't love yourselves. That's why when you look at your wife, you beating her up. All that domestic violence in these rural areas. What are you talking about? Everything is not just in the inner city. That's just always where they put the camera. Stop it. Thank you. I'm only going to say the truth. That's it. Nothing but the truth. So somebody better help them if they have a God. You know how they say, so help you God. But when I talk about spirituality on here too, I don't want to get into a religious debate. It just means us as a being too, you know, but I do believe in higher power. And the more I study things to do with space, I get messages and I come and bring them on here. And it'll be fun. So hopefully y'all interested in that. You'll come back another time and we talk about different things. I learned things about astronomy, but I break it down because it got to be broken down to me too in some ways so that I can come on here and we can understand it. Because we're going through a realm of things that are tragic. We're going through things that are hurting people, but I believe it has to do with space. And outer space has been talking to us and saying, hey, you humans, you earthlings down there better get it together. You know, the sun's getting hotter. The moon is moving further away from Earth. I talk about all these things because it has to do with us. You cannot ignore it. There's nothing satanic about looking up at the sky and receiving and giving messages. So please be open-minded and don't be too set in your ways where you feel like, I don't believe that. If you just give me a chance and then I can prove it, because I like to connect the dots, but I could do them even better with some of y'all. So I'll just say that eternal life that rests in you. For you safety. They're looking for eternal life that rests in you. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, because sometimes you got to take the trash out. Sometimes you do. Let me see your name. All right, Eamon Lehman, shout out to you. Thank you for subscribing. Where's my reaction button? I'm so silly. I like little sound effects too. I don't know. It's like, yeah, but and then some of the conversation too, you know, gets serious, but I do have humor with it too. If you check out my video shorts, the shorts, some are serious, but no, actually, no, they're not. They're mostly comical. They give you 1 minute to 3 minutes to do that. And those get pushed through the algorithm more than most things. I have live streams set up. I mostly will come on Sundays. I call it Chocolate Sundays, or Sunday Chocolate Sundays. Every Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern time in America. So if you're Pacific time, wait, that would be 5 p.m., but 7 p.m. Eastern. So hope to see y'all back. I talk about different things on there. So yeah, that's the whole deal with that. Yeah, I was trying to get the other part, but we're good. We're good with that part. Yeah. All right, y'all. So thanks, and thanks for the likes. I guess that I did get. It was over 500 people in here at one time, so this should be a big stream. I'm the only one I saw or know that actually streamed the live hearing from this morning. You can catch the replay if you missed it, but they did the hearing on Mr. Hinton Jr. So what happened with the bail? I was so busy. I had to like get stuff together here. So it's like, okay, so what was the thing for today? Man accused, okay, charged with murdering the Hamilton County deputy, made his first court appearance, recently relied on an hour ago. There was a disruption in the beginning, like I said, let me see, because I did want to show that, because I had this up also from the beginning. But it was right as I was starting the live stream. Can y'all see? Yeah.
Still hacking, high handicapping was either slicing right or the hooks.
Going to go as he is walking into the courtroom right now, if we're going to be able to take this live at this moment.
Have a seat. Have a seat.
Okay, so let's try to armchair quarterback what we believe is going on here right now. So Hinton was escorted by police from Claremont County into the courtroom right.
Yeah, so as y'all can see, that was the commotion just before they actually started the hearing. There was a lot of yelling and shoving. But I'm telling you, at first it was so quiet. Everyone was sitting. There was some maybe relatives in the front, but the back was all officers. And like I said, and some other people pointed out, there's a lot of intimidation with all those dozens of officers there. So there's a lot of tension from the family and from, those in blue. So, we'll see what happens. Any other updates I will show. I may do video on it. I'm not sure when I'll be live again. There's another case though with Robert Brooks, the man that was murdered in was it Marcy Correctional Facility. We have some updates that will be coming in soon too, because they're trying to get that going too. All right. So yeah, that was y'all want to see that again? There's a lot of corruption in the courtroom.
He is walking into the courtroom right now, if we're going to be able to take this live at this moment.
Have a seat. Have a seat.
Look at the guy in the blue trying to record everything. Everybody wants to be the one with media and show some. I swear, everybody just gets out of pocket. There is no order. America's out of order. America's out of order. Yeah, all right. All right. But anyway, y'all, see y'all another time. Like I said, I'm the only one that got that footage out right in real time. I'll thank myself. Some of y'all said thank you, and I appreciate it. I appreciate you subscribing, hitting the like, and conversating. Even the haters that came in, you expressed yourself. I just ask you to do it more respectfully. That's all. That's all. I don't ask for much, because I don't want to stop no one's voice the way they try to stop ours. Okay, I'm not doing that here. So again, my name, you see the name here, Kai NY7. I am in Unleashed Peace. A good one, yeah. All right. So I'm going to breeze. I typed something in the chat. I was saying, thank you, everyone. Peace. No, I'm not. I'm not jumping in people's faces. I'm giving coverage and I'm giving commentary. Yeah, it's called commentary. Yeah, that's what I do. So let me put this up. See, even when you're trying to end your stream, you got haters that come in here. KIYNY0077. Oh yeah, at Gmail is my PayPal. Cash App is $sign KIYNY007. So I'm a 00 agent. So anyone interested in any donating, they're appreciated. I will give you a shout out, unless you put anonymous, and then it can stay private. I appreciate y'all. Yeah. And those of y'all that have that oppression on your brain and you live with hate, do better. Because when the wrath comes for you, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when it comes for you? And I'm out. Peace.
EYNY007. Shout out EYNY007. My black butt, am I okay? Is your white butt okay? Sit your $5 ass down. Lay your ass down. Go back to your rear. Sit down.
I know. Look at that white goat. Oh, they are so huge. Oh, look, there's a black one. Black one?
Because I'm black.